Morning. It is far too early on Christmas Eve, and it's time to go to work for probably the penultimate AMI commutes of the year. Let's get to it. So we're definitely going to start by apologising for the poor lighting on this one. I mean it's about 5:30 in the morning. I started at 6, and we're not going to see that much daylight, at least at the start of this video. It should be good for the journey home though. I'm working 6 till 2 today. I believe that's the only shift that we're running today, which I was surprised at, because Christmas Eve, I imagine, is going to be super busy. People getting the last minute orders in, so it'll be interesting to see how busy it ends up being today. But it is good to be back. See, it's been a little while since we've done AMI commutes, because obviously AMI was in getting repaired, and I have been using it, been going back and forth to the shops and stuff since I came back, but I haven't really had the time to do the whole filming thing. It's been quite hectic with both jobs recently, so filming's been sort of on the back burner a little bit. But don't worry, we're back, and I'm going to try as hard as I can to get a regular rhythm going again, because I know that I've had the odd person message saying, oh, you know, what's happening with the videos and stuff, so it's good to know that people appreciate it. And this, of course, will be a journey you'll have seen many times before. If you're new here, then please do subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. But for those of you that have been following the journey from the start, you'll be very familiar with this journey. Obviously, AMI is back on the road with a new motor now. We've got 395 miles on the clock this morning. Live odometer reading, and so that represents I've done about 80 miles-ish on the new motor. I've not been out and about very much, but you know, here and there, and I can report that everything seems to be well so far. There's no untoward noises from the drivetrain, so that's obviously very good news. Now, it took 300 miles for the issue to appear before or so I thought, so we might have a little bit longer. However, what I have noticed is with the new motor, the drivetrain does sound a little bit different. Now, I don't think it's much to think that it was definitely faulty from day one, but what I would say is that it does just sound a little bit different when it's in service to how it did before. So I don't know if maybe it was. Maybe there was a bearing in the motor that was a bit dodgy from day one, or something like that. Now, without doing a full technical analysis of what actually went wrong, it would be very difficult to predict, you know, why this one maybe sounds just a touch different. It had the recall work done as well, which they told me was to do with the odometer potentially showing the incorrect units. Now, obviously, it's a miles per hour speedo. It records the trip in miles. All that stuff is correct as far as I can tell. But they did say that they did some kind of software update related to that recall as well. Now, whether that meant that it wasn't exactly showing a mile when it should have been, I don't know. But one thing I have noticed, so either related to the new motor being fitted or to the software update that's been carried out, is that suddenly the speed limiter seems a little bit less harsh. Now, it still limits you to 28 miles an hour, there's no doubt about that, but previously I found that if you were driving along at the top speed, the limiter would very harshly cut in and out, and more gently. Now, whether that's, I would assume that would be software related. I wouldn't have thought having a new motor fitted would affect that at all, because you'd think that would be the software that would control that. It would detect when you're at a certain speed, and it would limit your power to stop you going any faster. So, how we have a slightly different driving characteristic based on having the new motor fitted and potentially a software update for something unrelated, I'm not so sure. But it definitely is a little bit different. I said in the very first video when I picked the vehicle up and took it home, I said the limiter was very harsh, and I don't remember noticing that when I was driving the press cars. I don't remember it being quite as insistent on cutting in and out all the time. So it just makes me wonder, you know, if something really wasn't quite right with it to start with, and now that it is. I don't know, but all I know is it's slightly different. Make it out what you will. UK deliveries update. I know a lot of you are still waiting, and there's a lot of people getting a little bit frustrated. I think certain models, I think particularly those that have ordered the Pop, the Vibe and the Tonic, are seeing extended lead times, which is unfortunate. I don't know what the logistical reasons are behind that. I'm unable to work out yet whether those still come over as a basic model and all the bits are just fitted at PDI, or whether that is a distinct model that comes out of the factory. If you know the answer to that question, please do let me know. But I've noticed, rather strangely, if you've ordered a basic model, or one of the colour packs, some people are ordering them and getting notification really quickly that the delivery is due, you know, within weeks. And much faster than the sort of 14 weeks lead time that is being advertised. So I don't know what the driver behind that is. I don't know if it's cancelled orders. I don't know if there was more of the base models brought over than they anticipated, or what it is. But I have noticed this as well. Some people are getting bad news, and that is really unfortunate. I feel really bad for them. Some people are getting the opposite, and they're ordering at me and then expecting a long wait and getting the opposite, which is quite interesting. I have noticed some people are getting an early Christmas present though, expecting to take delivery in January, getting a phone call and taking delivery a bit earlier, so that's really cool. So if you have your vehicle now, I do hope you enjoy it. So obviously the title of this video was driving home for Christmas, and all I've actually managed to do is drive to work. However, in 8 or 9 hours time, I will be driving home for Christmas. I'll be finished at last, and I will rejoin you for that all-important journey home, at which point I'm sure the roads are going to be significantly busier than they were this morning. But right now, I've got some important work to do, and I will see you soon. That was another long one. It's about 3 o'clock, finished about an hour late, suffered a puncture, had to swap vans, all that lovely stuff, and it was really, really busy. But we're done. Let's drive home for Christmas, shall we? Perhaps slightly less far than Chris Reed did, but you know. Boy, am I glad that's over. Hopefully the roads aren't going to be too busy. It's been surprisingly quiet on the roads today. Guessing everybody's already done their Christmas shopping, so that last minute rush doesn't seem to really be happening. But it was surprisingly quiet. I was expecting to be sat in traffic all day trying to get to places, but it's not been too bad at all. Those of you that are paying attention might have noticed that we have a bag hook. So about a week ago, Citroen UK sent me in the post 3 speed clips which go on the metal bar under the dashboard and provide the threaded inserts that both the bag hook and the luggage net separator thing attach to. It seems they're sending them out to anybody that ordered a colour pack and has found that they're missing. So I know that some people set about fixing that themselves, but if you haven't yet, if you're still waiting on sorting that, definitely make sure you've reported to the AMI team that not was always well with your colour pack, and it seems you'll be sent the clips that you need. There's also a video on Citroen UK's YouTube channel that shows you how to fit them. I was going to do a how-to myself when I fitted these, but when I realised they'd already beat me to it, and given how awkward it is getting under the dash to do it, never mind wrestling a camera under there, you'll definitely be better off using their video to do it. So I've linked to that in the description if you've got an AMI with the speed clips missing and you wonder how to fit them. Citroen have already made a video showing you how to do it. And if you're too impatient to wait and you want to sort it yourself in the meantime, you can buy them on Amazon for a couple of £. You need one with an M5 threaded insert, and they've got a few different names. The chimney nuts, speed clips, spire clips. I don't know why there's so many different names for the same thing, but there is. And that's what you need, one of those in an M5 thread. There's a link in the description for ones from Amazon that would do the job. But obviously, if you've bought a colour pack and your AMI has those missing, or it's missing from the pack, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure whether they're supposed to be in the pack or they're supposed to already be fitted to the vehicle. I'm not quite sure there. That hasn't been made clear, but Citroen are sorting it. But if you're impatient, you can't wait, you can always sort it yourself. But it's good, the bag hook very handy. I went and did the Christmas food shop the other day, and the bag hook was very, very welcome. Although I think I was kind of testing it to its limits. I had a really big bag of shopping on it, and I held it fine, but I don't know, it looked a little bit precarious, but it did the job. and definitely a useful addition. I think if I didn't have the colour pack, I'd probably buy the bag hook anyway. Still haven't seen any of the other Amis of Gloucestershire out and about. I know that there's definitely at least one in Gloucester City Centre, because the guy's on one of the Facebook groups, and I still haven't seen it around, which I'm quite surprised at. And I know there are a few others dotted around, maybe a little bit further afield, that still are yet to encounter them on the roads. I'm sure I'll be very excited when I do. I had a guy the other day, I was driving down the 40-mile-an-hour roads near my house, the one we'll be on fairly shortly, and there's this guy in a new Land Rover Defender following me, and he sort of followed me into the estate where I live, and I thought, I think maybe he lives here too, I don't know. And then I pulled onto my driveway and he pulls up and he stops, and I'm like, hang on, you know, is this guy a bit pissed off that I've been holding him up? Because obviously I'll do the 28 and a 40, and he's been behind me for a couple of miles. Like, is he a bit annoyed? Are we going to have a bit of road rage here? You know, what's the score? What's going on? And so I get out, and he gets out of his car as well. He's quite a big chap, and I'm like, no, you know, this is interesting. And the first words out of his mouth are, "What? I'm really sorry to like follow you. I'm not stalking you, but what is that? How much does it cost? And where can I get one?" And he's dead serious. He wants an Ami as a mobile advertising billboard, essentially, for his business, because he says it's so unique. Everybody looks at it, that if it's got his company name on the side of it, it'll be a surefire hit, and he's seriously going to order one just based on seeing mine around. So he actually, turns out he lives not very far away, and he saw it charging, and there's a charger at the co-op just around the corner, and I've charged there a couple of times, and he's seen it charging and been interested in it. And then when he's seen me actually driving it, he's been like, oh, I need to talk to him, I need to see what's going on. So what I thought was going to be a bit of a negative interaction was actually really positive. This guy, he was absolutely so enthusiastic, because he thought it represented such a brilliant marketing opportunity for his business. The Defender he was driving was all sign written as well. So yeah, I think he's onto something there, and I think, you know, they're going to become the de facto standard in like London and stuff for like mobile billboards, right? You're going to see them sign written advertising businesses, and whether they're being used by that business or they're just driving around advertising them. I definitely think that's a thing. I think if we ever see the hourly rental model for Ami come to cities like London, the Stellantis would be missing a trick if they didn't then rent out like advertising space on them, so companies could pay to have them wrapped with their name, and then people can drive them around London. You know, a bit like black cabs and stuff do already. I definitely think that'd be a really cool thing, and I can't be the only person that's thinking that way. I think because it's so unique, because it's so head-turning, if you then advertise your company on it, it's just a surefire winner, I think. Of course, I guess the only downside maybe is if you do attract that, you know, little bit of road rage and that kind of stuff, because and not that I've experienced that, I'm still yet to really experience any sort of road rage and that. People overtake now and again, and that's absolutely fine. And if people want to make progress, of course, you know, overtake when it's safe, that's absolutely fine, no problem at all. But I haven't really had anybody, you know, expressing their sort of discontent and anything like that. A lot of people say that. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, 28 miles an hour, you'll definitely be holding everybody off. People will be raging at you. It hasn't been like that so far. So, you know, I think it's all very positive. I'm guessing we're still in that period where Ami is still so weird that people are like, oh, wow, what is that? You know, rather than anything more negative. So, I think it's quite good at the moment. That's probably going to change over time, you know. But for now, I would say still fairly positive. Thankfully off both of my jobs for the next week, which is nice. I'm back delivering on New Year's Eve, which will be great fun. But I'm off my other job as well, so hopefully we'll be able to get some content out. I'm very, very aware that the EV news stuff is kind of on the back burner, so I'm going to look out for some 2022 in review type content. Obviously, you know, why wouldn't I be doing that? So we'll look out for that coming up real soon. Definitely before the end of the year, there'll be some 2022 in review stuff. We might see if we can squeeze in a little bit more Ami stuff before the year's out as well. Maybe I'll finally use some of this spare time I've got to put some Fog X on the windows. Imagine that, eh? So that is it for the penultimate AMI Commutes of 2022. We will try and squeeze another one in on New Year's Eve, because I'm working the same shift again, 6 till 2, hopefully actually 2 this time, on New Year's Eve. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great Christmas, wherever you are and whoever you're with, and I will see you next time.